Hello everybody and welcome back to this week's video. And of course, after commencing the finishing of the memorial, we're now going back into the Jeremiah book. So what did we look about in the 40th chapter? After the destruction of course, Jerusalem, we can see a man named Gedaliah was, of course, appointed as governor over the people who remained in the land. This is what we discussed about in Jeremiah 40th chapter, about how things changed for the people, how their resilience changed, and how their attitudes changed. And then we saw how a new governor was introduced, being through Gedaliah. And what did Gedaliah do? We saw he said, "Do not be afraid of the Babylonians," he said. "Stay in the land, serve the king of Babylon, and all things will go well," he said. So many scattered Jews, hearing his message, returned, and for a short time there was peace and hope for this. But there was a problem as well that struck, and that's what we're going to look in this week's video. Thanking the Lord through our Savior Jesus Christ, let us begin. So, in this week's video, we see a new character was introduced, that in being Ishmael. A man named Ishmael from the royal family came with a hidden plan, we see. And we can see this hidden plan, of course, came into understanding for Gedaliah as well, as some people had warned Gedaliah, saying, "Ishmael is planning to kill you." But of course, Gedaliah at this moment did not actually believe it, because he trusted Ishmael and showed him kindness. He trusted Ishmael and showed him kindness. Key understand. He trusted him and showed kindness. So what happened then in the 41st chapter based off this trust that he had? Well, one day Ishmael came with 10 men, and Gedaliah welcomed them and ate with them. But during the meal, Ishmael suddenly attacked and killed Gedaliah. So of course, this was a shocking betrayal when it comes to how we see this. Well, for our eyes, we could see it slightly different, as it was an expected outcome. But of course, it is still a shocking betrayal, because Gedaliah was a good leader. He trusted Ishmael, but Ishmael repaid good with evil. That's what's been said here. So after killing him, Ishmael also killed, though, others in Mizpah as well. He didn't let anyone spare. He even killed pilgrims who came to worship. Then he took people captive, planning to escape as well. And then we can see this is how the situation Ishmael took as an advantage after taking Gedaliah's life, we can see. But then we can see the situation kind of escalated even more, because then a man named Jehonan heard about what had taken place, and he went after Ishmael and rescued the captives. But Ishmael escaped from the situation. But now the people were in a bad position, because the people were afraid the Babylonians would blame them for Gedaliah's death, the governor, of course, and this would cause much more repercussions for the Jews that decided to come back. So they planned to run away to Egypt, though, which is probably the wrong decision, because they did this instead of trusting God. So this is how problems escalate in completely random directions you could not expect, because now they have to run away in a rasping nature for the actions that suddenly happened, you can see. So the spiritual lessons from this we have to understand of this incident is that good leadership can be destroyed by betrayal. Of course, we understood how Gedaliah wanted peace, but evil men ruined the peace he tried to create. Not all warnings should be ignored, we can see, as Gedaliah did not listen to the people who told him about Ishmael, and it costed him his life ultimately. And then we'll understand evil can hide behind friendship. Ishmael came as a guest, but acted as an enemy when it came to that meal that Ishmael and Gedaliah had. He acted as a guest, but then came in and delivered actions of an enemy. So fear then at the end, because of all the chaos that happened, the fear leads to wrong decisions. Instead of trusting God, the people plan to flee to Egypt, we can see. So that's how much it's escalated, and how much fear is such a detrimentally wrong thing that we should not allow ourselves to succumb to. As in Jeremiah 40th and 41st chapter clearly shows this as a summary point. Moments of peace can happen, then a sudden betrayal can happen, then finally fear and confusion. It's such a stage of understanding of how things can escalate if not handled in the right way. So the key message from this is trust God, be watchful, and do not ignore wise warnings, because they are there to help you and to warn you about how to handle situations. So be watchful. So that's all for this week's video. I'll see you in next week's video. Thank you for watching. Bye.